Welcome to week 6 of Mpai 600 here at Georgetown University School of Continuing Studies Applied Intelligence. Announcements, again, paper 2 is due now, yesterday, probably which I hope you handed it in by the time you're watching this. And then the Zoom session, I'm taping this before the Zoom session tonight, but you guys have gotten pretty good reminders for groups 1 through 3. I'm going to remind at the Zoom session, but if you are in groups 1, 2, and 3, good luck on the Zoom session, but please upload your PowerPoint to the tab. I can't give you a grade unless there's a PowerPoint presentation there. So, and if you don't do that, I got to give you an F. So please upload the PowerPoint presentation into the tab right now as soon as you see this announcement. So review of week 5. Again, I know you guys had your papers last week. If there's things you couldn't get to, please get to them now, just so you don't fall behind, and so you can bring all this in the final and the final paper. So when does radicalization get further monitored? This is a key question going in some of these issues. There was scrutiny on Nidal Hasan, or there wasn't enough scrutiny apparently, but there's some scrutiny on the Boston Marathon bombers, on the EU, ISIS, on some of these right-wing extremists that we have. But when does it get further monitored? When do I cross the line? Is it when I say ISIS is a good thing? Do I deserve further scrutiny then? Do I cross the line when I like an ISIS webpage on YouTube or Facebook? Do I cross the line when I chat with an ISIS member online? And while there's civil liberties protections for some of these, I will remind you that there's hundreds of thousands of people who have subscribed to Anwar al-Awlaki's web pages and to ISIS web pages. It's very hard to monitor them further. And what is monitoring further is the question. What do we do? And again, this dovetails to the previous question. People on the radar. This is the central challenge, whether it's for the EU case study or these lone wolves, whether they're Islamic or even right-wing radicals. Almost all of them are on the radar of law enforcement. The Orlando shooter was on the radar. The San Bernardino shooter, this Charleston shooter, they were known to local law enforcement. However, there's nothing you can do if a guy wants to go in, buy a gun, and shoot people. Even if you're monitoring him further, unless he's plotting, like the Coast Guard lieutenant who was arrested, and he's using it on a government computer, it's actually very hard to determine radicalization, or to see what radicalization is. There was a reporter for Charlottesville, prior to the Charlottesville incidents that happened 2 years ago, who discovered a lot of these people very open about their violent tendencies on Facebook. It wasn't a big secret. And he discovered that before the Charlottesville attack happened, before those riots happened. But what can you do about it? Do you ban them from buying guns? Do you put them on watch lists already? Banning people from buying guns for their social media posts is something very, very controversial. And where on the line does that flow? If you go to the comment section of 4chan, 8chan, the Daily Stormer, you will see not just your run-of-the-mill racists, you will see people advocating for violence against politicians, violence against certain, name your ethnic, immigrant, minority group out there. You can't scrutinize all of them. Do we have the appropriate funding structures or people? Or legalities, I should also add. Do we need more? I mentioned that you can't monitor everyone, but is it just because we lack the resources? Do we want to have more resources? It's very hard in this fiscal times to ask for more resources for law enforcement. Do we need better technology? Do we need a way that we can cross-queue everyone who's on Anwar al-Awlaki's Facebook page? And I mentioned they're open and there's hundreds of thousands of them with watch lists and no-fly lists and further scrutiny on the terrorism screening list. Can we merge those a little bit more succinctly? That's what where artificial intelligence and other technologies might be able to preserve that. And then should we just maybe accept it? In a free society where you have access to guns and access to other materials, should we just accept that there's always going to be a guy who wants to blow up a school or to do a shoot up a school or do a rollover? Where you drive through a certain area. In fact, there was just one at a Republican canvassing area in Florida just today. Should we just accept it as a part of our democracy that you can't prevent everything? I'll let you decide. So going on to week 6, again, I just want to go quickly. What we're looking at is criminal intelligence. Professor Lemieux is going to be the one talking about criminal intelligence. He's going to talk about CompStat, which was not a computer program, but a series of accountability measures and metrics for police departments in fighting crime. And the question I want you to think of in the back of your mind is what led to the decline in crime from the early 80s to now? And there has been a massive decline in crime. A lot of people, especially people who are trying to sell you something, think it was police intelligence, criminal intelligence, proactive policing. But there might be other factors, and just think about that as you go through the readings. And then we're going to go through law enforcement technologies, particularly the Boston Marathon. We went last week on the intelligence failure. This week we're going to talk about what law enforcement technologies, investigative tools were used to solve the Boston Marathon, whether it's forensics, CCTV, and others. And that's outlined in the documentary. And the question I want you to think about is how applicable are these? It's very easy to employ these in a high-profile case like the Boston Marathon, but can they be used in a more distributed manner? So I look forward to your questions, and if there's any issues, please let me know.